Everybody, welcome back to Wicked Good Show, the Rick and Morty. God, Ben, what are we calling this?
Get Shrifty. I don't know.
The Get Swifty spin-off of Wicked Good Show. You just heard him, but I'm Brian, joined with my friend Ben Sharon. Ben, how are you?
How's it going? Maybe if we do like Brian and Ben Get Swifty.
Brian and Ben Get Swifty. All right, hey, I like it. That could be a good working title for this spin-off. Of course, the main show, Wicked Good Show. We're covering the second episode of the new season of Rick and Morty. Ben, are you ready to get into it?
Yeah, I'm ready to get into The Old Man in the Seat. I actually looked up the name of the episode this time.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. No, I edited it out when we were looking for it last time. So, as far as anyone knows, you had it right off the top of your head. Until now.
I don't know what you're talking about, Brian.
Oh man! So before the show started, we talked about how we wanted to maybe, instead of breaking it down frame by frame, beat by beat, we wanted to kind of talk about the story from a macro level. Is that right?
Yeah, just so we're not just so you don't like come from the show and just like listen to us describe the show.
The show again. That's fair. That's a fair. So I guess, what did you think of The Old Man in the Seat?
I actually really liked it. I think that was an above average episode. I think that it was better than episode one, which is I'm actually surprised. I've seen a couple of people say that they didn't like the episode online.
Ah, interesting. Have they said why?
I don't know. They said that it was just like nonsensical and pointless. But I mean, that's like
it's like a lot of these episodes.
Yeah, I could say that about most of Rick and Morty. Yeah. The like whole idea is like to derive meaning from the nonsense, right?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a fun, kind of a sad episode, and also, interesting direction they've taken this season. This is 2 episodes in a row where the main Rick and Morty spent the entire episode apart from one another.
Yeah, so we had like an episode when we had Rick going through the whole dying and being reborn situation while Morty was being corrupted by the death crystal, and here we have Rick tracking down this guy Tony, who is using his secret toilet while Morty is running off with Jerry, trying to fix the fact that Jerry almost got the entire world destroyed.
Yeah, so pretty classic Jerry shenanigans in this episode, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, you can always count on Jerry to not do anything right ever.
And, also adding on to that, we got some big guest stars in this episode. We had Taika Waititi. We had Jeffrey Wright from Westworld and Sam Neill from Jurassic Park. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, a lot of big names, and it was really fun to hear Jeffrey Wright say that he's a shy pooper.
It was very fun. So what did you think? What did you take away from Rick's subplot?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was probably the more interesting of the 2 like primary plots of the episode, where like the Jerry and Morty plot was a little bit, kind of more lighthearted and fun and like ridiculous,
right?
Whereas like Rick had like that kind of ridiculous to it in a couple of scenes. Yeah, and it was very sad, especially the final scene where Rick is sitting on the toilet after he's found out that Tony has died. I think a lot of the like overall theme of the episode is just that like that Rick is not the kind of person who allows people to get emotionally like close to him, and so you have there's a guy who like there's like potential friendship chemistry there, but like Rick is kind of putting on this facade that he's just trying to like get him killed or like to like drive him away. Yeah, and so it's kind of this weird dichotomy because of like Rick's personality.
Yeah, I think we've spent a lot of seasons kind of establishing Rick as this, renegade loner type who really only cares about his family when it's convenient for him. Not, but we're starting to break down the barriers a little bit. We're starting to get a softer Rick from all his time spent with his family.
Yeah, I mean, he cares about his family like very marginally more than he cares about everything else, which is not at all.
Right.
So, and like we do know that the family that he's with now is not like his original universe family,
Mm,
except for theoretically Morty.
right.
And so like there is a potential of like that kind of feeding into his worldview of like him understanding how the microverse works, and that like kind of breeding a lot of like really like nihilistic kind of views
Mm,
of just reality.
right. Right. And yeah, so I guess what did you take away from the ending with him sitting dejectedly as the king shit? Was it king of the shit or king shit?
I think it was King of Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Getting mocked by like hundreds of like holograms of himself.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously like, you know, profound. Like for a comedy show, there are like a number of times where there is a lot of depressing elements because like one of the main characters is like basically a depressed functioning alcoholic.
right.
Um, and so I think it's just Rick having these moments of like kind of self-realization where he's not putting up this facade against the universe that he is like emotionally untouchable or like emotionally dead.
Mm,
um, and we kind of saw this as well in the episode with Unity, the hive mind that
mm,
Rick had like a toxic relationship with.
right.
At the very end, he is like trying to kill himself, and he like doesn't even kill
Mm,
himself correctly with the
right.
like laser thing because he passes out because he's so drunk.
Mm,
Yeah, it's very similar to that, where he's just like he has kind of these highs and lows and these peaks and valleys.
right.
Uh, yeah. Well, what do you think? What do you think of the whole like Rick plot line in this episode?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it's always fun to see the lengths Rick will go when he feels someone has wronged him in
Yeah.
some way, including reconstructing someone's meal and then going and threatening 400,000 children's lives just to find out who, took shit on his toilet. I mean, it was a
Yeah.
nice toilet, in fairness to him. I enjoyed the solo joke at the beginning. This is a solo adventure that's not going to be directed by Ron Howard.
Yep.
That was fun. But yeah, I think it's interesting to see Rick drop some of his guard and try to maybe be a softer character after everything that we've seen him go through the last few seasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just kind of a matter of whether or not that's something that's going to stick, or he's just going to put his walls back up and
Yeah,
continue on with the next Rick and Morty adventure.
it's hard because it is a cartoon, and oftentimes cartoons generally have a reliance on resetting the status quo every episode. But I do believe that Rick and Morty tends to mix in the reset with season long arcs fairly well.
Yeah, and then like I mean, even looking back though, we have instances about well with the Unity episode, and also I think Pickle Rick is also a
Mm,
very interesting examination of just kind of Rick's psyche and how he like views the world and how he'll like uh, just like that was another episode where he was going to like these insane ends to like accomplish a goal,
mm,
and like the whole journey during that episode was like a metaphor for his own like emotional journey to like kind of shut himself out from the like greater world.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think that we've seen any evidence, at least in the past, that this will really amount to anything beyond the one episode. But we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. All right, let's shift focus a little bit over to the Morty and Jerry side of this episode.
Yeah, so we have right from the very first scene, we have Rick's new like intern slave introduced. What was this? What was the character's name?
Gluty.
Gluty, yeah.
Short for Gluteus Maximus, because he's a bunch of butts.
Yeah, and Gluty was voiced by the aforementioned Taika Waititi, right?
Yeah. So I feel like every episode we do of Wicked Good Show, it's about Taika Waititi lately. He's in The Mandalorian. He just directed Jojo Rabbit, and now this. This is, you know, he's on a hot streak for sure.
Yeah, he's going around. He's doing the full Gambino.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he's blowing up, and so he plays Rick's intern who really wants to make an app.
Yeah, and so much so, and presumably Rick has like at least enough information to know that you shouldn't be developing his app, to the point where he has tattooed or stamped "Do not develop my app" right on top of Gluty's forehead.
Right. For Jerry,
which,
specifically.
Yeah, primarily for Jerry, which you know obviously worked perfectly, because it wasn't that. Not just 45 seconds after Rick leaves, is Jerry going against the single directive that was provided to him.
Yeah, I love Morty's reaction. Like that, like obviously it's something horrible. He's just too lazy to explain.
Yeah. Morty has got on enough adventures with Rick to understand how he functions.
Exactly. So yeah, they make this app. And the idea is that it connects you with your soulmate, but underneath it, it changes your soulmate very frequently. And while everyone's distracted, falling in love with their soulmates, there's a more sinister thing at work, is there not?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically, the app is basically the Hang the DJ app, but
Right.
you know, ridiculous. And everybody is immediately addicted to it, which, you know, may or may not be a commentary on society. But yeah, the app is really just a way for society to devolve into chaos, so that this evil alien can try and extract all of Earth's water.
Yeah, we find out when they rough up Gluty a little bit. And you know, they find out that this race of aliens is pretty cooperative if you rough them up at all or threaten them.
Yeah, do they have a weapon? No, but I don't either.
Yeah, that's so good. Do you have a weapon? No. Then to your leader, whatever. Or he's like, I don't know. I'm waiting for the shoe to drop, but right now this is working really well. Oh man.
Yeah, we get to see Morty actually kind of take the lead, and you know, to show that he's learned a little something from Rick, and to be able to kind of corral Jerry's stupidity a little bit.
Yeah, so they find out the evil plan of Sam Neill, the leader of this alien race. They go around making apps and stealing water from distracted aliens across the galaxy, and they try to escape, and they seem like they might actually have a good escape plan, honestly, but it doesn't work, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, General Sam Neill did not look very interested when they were like physically wrestling the weapon away from his little lackey right in front of him. He was just arguing with his wife.
Oh man. But yeah, so you know, eventually Gluty lets them free and all that. And yeah, so what do you think of this side of this episode?
Yeah, and also on the side of this, we have Summer, who is
Right.
using this app, and kind of
The sea story.
we're seeing the chaos through her eyes mostly, with Beth chasing her around, trying to rein her in and stop her from using the app.
Yeah, flying on
Which
hang
is
gliders even though she doesn't know how to.
Yeah, I mean that whole like series of scenes was just like complete cartoonish ridiculousness. Like totally over the top, just to be over the top.
I did like when they were
Um,
arguing at the motel, and the guy's like,
yeah, it's like
"We're at a motel. None of us are here because our life's in a good enough place to like put ourselves into yours." It's just so good, so funny.
it's like just like alternating yelling, assault, and rape. So basically, just the standard thing you hear in the motel parking lot.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, we've
Um,
stayed at plenty of motels in our various travels for filming stuff, and you keep to yourself if you're at a motel. You don't know what's happening.
yeah, you don't want to. You should keep your head down and don't make eye contact.
Yeah, you hope you don't get food poisoning from the complimentary breakfast the next day, and you just keep moving.
Yep. Or like caught in a crossfire of like a drug deal gone bad.
So, Ben, of course, the app is thwarted because of the ad in advertisements.
Yeah, the ultimate like cherry on top of this kind of meta commentary on like the tech obsession, where everyone will get totally hooked on anything as long as it's free.
Exactly. I loved that, man. I mean, you actually have a background in this kind of stuff. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of gotten to a point as a society, especially in the tech space, where people just expect things to be free, and you know, uh, when you have to pay for something, it is like an enormous turnoff,
Yep.
and it's to the point where people are like totally willing to give up their like personal privacy and data just to avoid having to like pay a modest subscription fee for something.
Yep. Hey, man, it's so it's so funny because you're right. It's like people will just be like, "Yeah, you can track my whereabouts at any given moment," but I am not seeing a Google Stadia ad. Fuck
Yeah.
that.
You can scan my face so you can fake send me a soulmate.
But the second an ad pops up, I'm fucking out.
Yeah. But I'm not paying 99 cents for your ad-free version. Fuck out of here.
Oh man. So yeah, all in all, I really liked this episode.
Yeah, no, I think it was solid overall. I think it was another example of something that Rick and Morty does, in my opinion, better than most other shows, which is just having a huge density of material within the time allotted. And there are a number of episodes that are like good examples of them like really efficiently using their 25 minutes of airtime or whatever, where it just kind of feels like there's way more content and way more like jokes and way more just like depth to what's going on beyond what you could really expect to fit into that short amount of time.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously Dan Harmon's show Community had a similar feel. Obviously Justin Roiland adds a lot in this. He's hilarious. This show is one of the best comedies on TV right now. Live action, cartoon, you name it. It's just great.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think that it's obviously I'm here doing a podcast, so
Wouldn't be doing a podcast for free if it weren't an entertaining subject.
Yeah, and
But hey, maybe if you guys tell your friends and family, we won't have to do this for free forever. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Hopefully we could get paid, and then you also don't have to pay us a subscription fee, because then it seems like you would stop listening at that point,
right,
based on this episode.
Yeah, we don't want to be running ad. We got to figure out a way around it. Anyway, subscribe to our Patreon. No. Oh man. So, is there anything else you wanted to add about this episode before we end this podcast episode?
What was your opinion on the part of the episode where Rick puts Tony into this like Matrix style dream pod, where he like imagines himself in heaven with his wife?
Yeah, I mean, is that Rick? I don't know. Is that Rick showing a softer side? He's not killing people who wronged him now. He's putting them into heaven, or is this something that's gonna pop up again down the line?
I mean, there were a number of
There are a lot.
yeah, there's like 10 at least other people in their facility. So either there's backstories there, or it's just like other people who Rick has wronged, but not to the point where he is like comfortable killing them.
Right. He has a code, you know.
I mean, I don't know if he has a code. I think he just kind of like goes like flies by the seat of his pants.
He arbitrarily casts his judgment on people, depending, you know, on how he's feeling that day.
Yeah, whether his like empathy meter is at like a 0 or a 2.
It's about as high as it goes.
Yeah, that's peak empathy for Rick.
Oh man, but yeah, the only thing I really wanted to talk about was that it's really cool how many guest stars that you can get these days. Seems like lots of people want to be a part of this TV show.
Yeah, very high profile guest stars too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a million years I never would have guessed Sam Neill would be on an episode of Rick and Morty. So random, but really great.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't come into this episode expecting to hear Jeffrey Wright's voice either.
No, so. Right. So ridiculous. Oh, man. All right, Ben, where can they find you online if they want to give you a follow?
You can follow me on Twitter, at Ben Sharon. Haven't tweeted a ton recently. If Julie Chen actually isn't just trolling the entire Big Brother fan base, and there is a Big Brother season coming up in the next couple of months, I'll be tweeting about that. I'll tweet about Big Brother Canada when that comes back.
Yes.
I'll tweet about like shower thoughts and complaining about whatever is irking me at any given moment.
Fair enough. So if you guys want to follow for that, definitely, if you're a Big Brother fan, you got to follow Ben, because Ben has all the good takes on what's happening in the various Big Brother houses.
It consumes my life in the worst way.
Oh man. And if you want to follow the channel, you can of course follow us at WG Everything on Twitter, on Instagram at Wicked Get Everything, on Twitch at twitch.tv/WickedGetEverything. You can follow me on Twitter at TheFakeBMar, that's BMARR. And of course, our main YouTube channel is youtube.com/WickedGetEverything. This channel is Wicked Good Podcast. We haven't reached 100 subscribers yet. You can help us out by dropping a sub, telling your friends, anyone you think might be interested in hearing a Rick and Morty podcast. As if there's not tons of other YouTubers covering Rick and Morty this season. It's fine. You know, what's one more, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, everyone always has free time, right? You know,
right.
Everyone's driving, everyone's, you know, you're cooking dinner, you're masturbating, just, you know, plenty of opportunity to put podcasts that we do on in the background, and just, you know, just like have it on. We're the background noise of your life, right?
Exactly. We should. I mean, we certainly do enough shows. I feel like at this point we could be. Oh yes, and before I forget, shout out Brian Wong. I told Dylan I would keep the tradition alive, shouting Brian out. So, Brian, if you watch Rick and Morty and you've gotten to the end of this podcast, let me know, and we appreciate it. And of course, we appreciate everyone who checks it out. And maybe leave us a review on iTunes. Would be a nice thing to do, I would say. We have a Ford versus Ferrari review coming up soon, as well as another Mandalorian review. And then we'll be back again to talk about Rick and Morty next week.
Only 3 episodes left.
It's gone so fast. Oh, man. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great rest of your day.